everyone. Welcome to the Team Hardcore training call. Today is Thursday, July 20th. So we've just come back from Summit and everyone's super fired up, which is so awesome. I feel like the rest of this year is going to be the best of this year. So many great things coming, with hopefully you already ordered your Daily Sunshine. We just got ours yesterday and had a little family taste testing. We all decided which was our favorite flavor. It's so good. You guys have got to try that. And then of course with Double Time, which is launching or releasing in November, and of course the UK launch we found out is going to happen on October 19th. And then we've got the Team Cup, which by the way, get together with your team. Even if you're a newer coach, it's okay. This is all about just making progress in your business and just doing your best, committing to do your best and having that group mentality that'll bring out the best in you. And I have done in my group, like let's figure out who you want to be with and try and help you match up with someone. So, please don't be shy and try and get yourself on a team. Hopefully you watched The Surge last night with Carl Deichler and Kim Fitzpatrick and Jessica Nelson, and Michael Neiman spoke for a bit, and it was really, really good. You can still catch that recording if you missed it. It's on the Team Beachbody 411 page. They just went live on the page. Okay, so enough about that. Let's get on to our guest speaker. So today's call is called Achieving Success by Embracing Your Authentic Self. And there's no better person to speak on this topic than Ruth Schroner. I have been watching her just rise herself to the top, and she's just been amazing. And what I love about her is she's so just real and authentic, and which is why she's speaking on this topic about what that looks like and what that feels like. And I think that this call today is going to help you not just in your coaching life, but she's going to say a lot of things that are going to resonate with you no matter where you are in your business. So let me just give her an introduction. She is a mom and wife. She's a two-time elite top 25 coach. She's currently holding the #1 spot in the organization, you guys. Currently holding the #1 spot in the organization. She is, of course, a Superstar Diamond, recently hit Superstar Diamond. She's a Success Club 10 legend. She's a 6-figure earner. She's also just 3 years into the business. Now, don't go comparing yourself and saying, oh my gosh, I've been in it 3 years and I don't have all those accolades. Don't do that to yourself, okay? But I just want to say she's done some pretty amazing things, and I feel so incredibly grateful that she is willing to speak on our call and share with us what she's learned and pour her time into us. So please, please, please take notes and maybe even listen again to this recording and make sure that your coaches hear this call. So with that, Ruth, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just great. And now I'm going to present you to everyone. There you go.
Awesome. Hey guys, how's it going? I am thrilled to be here. Thank you so much, Janelle, for having me. Before I get into this, it's funny. In 2008, I graduated from college, and I was not into fitness at the time, but I just got out of college. I was like, I need to be an adult, and let's work out. So I started going to 24-hour fitness in Kansas City. And while there, I took a Turbo Kick class, and I fell in love with Turbo Kick. It was like my first love of fitness. My instructor was amazing. And so I fell in love with this class, but then a year later I moved to Stillwater, Oklahoma, and Stillwater, Oklahoma didn't have Turbo Kick. So what do you do when you're taken away from your fitness love? You get certified.
Yes.
So actually in 2009, I got certified as a Turbo Kick instructor because I loved it so much, and that's so outside of my comfort zone to teach anything like that, especially anything choreographed kind of, because I have two left feet. So this is like a very cool full circle moment for me. I'm not even gonna try and play it cool. Just being here is an honor, and I'm like, what is happening? So thank you so much for having me. And I couldn't be more excited to talk to you guys about today and what that means and how to embrace it. Because I myself have been going through the same journey, and I feel like this year in this moment of success, I've got completely lost in who I was, my mission, my purpose. And so I'm actually just now coming out of that, and I feel like I'm finding myself and finding my joy again. And so that's why I'm so pumped to share this with you. It is, I think it's a forever journey. It's not something that you just conquer and one day you have it all. We go through ebbs and flows in life and in this business. And it's very important to be able to analyze where you're at mentally and emotionally and get better, whatever that means for you in terms of doing more personal development or working with a life coach or digging in to improve yourself. So I'm going to talk to you about how to be authentic, and I'm going to take this in 3 different areas. So 1, being authentic in your story. 2, being authentic in your purpose and your mission. And 3, being authentic as a leader and with your vision for your life. So that's what I'm going to hit on today. I hope this really helps you guys out, whether you are a new coach or whether you are a veteran. And I'm going to have you all chat in. Let me know, you know, where you're at in this business. Are you a brand new coach? Are you a newer leader? Are you a veteran coach? What are you in this business right now? So I kind of know who I'm talking to, and I can get to know you guys a little bit better. All right, so, and I want to also, before I get going, I want to give this disclaimer, because I think with Summit and just with trainings in general, it's very easy to listen to people give these trainings or at Summit and think you need to change everything about what you're doing, that you need to change everything you're doing or apply all these strategies. And so I want you guys to get critical and think critically about this and really analyze your business, your behaviors, and decide how you need to apply this to your business. For example, one of my coaches the other night on my leader call, who was killing it in this business, she started asking if she should do her invites differently. And I'm like, whoa, 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 you don't change a thing. You are rocking it out. You're hitting Success Club 40. Don't change a thing. And sometimes I think we fall into this trap of, you know, just taking everything we hear and not filtering it. So filter this for you and your business and take the pieces that apply. And in that, you do have to be honest with yourself. You have to really ask yourself, like, am I doing this? Am I not doing this? Is it going to help me if I do it? And push through those fears, because sometimes fears, it's just easier to say, like, I don't need to do this. I'm already doing it. So get real with yourself and apply this in the best way possible for you. So, all right, so I'm going to start here. All right, so we have some veterans, some first years. So I actually am going to share my screen for just a moment. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to, we're gonna do this, a little activity real quick. So grab your phone, because you don't have time to write down the answers of what I'm gonna ask you. So I want you to do a voice memo. And if you don't have voice memo, just pull up your Facebook Messenger and you can pull up your thread and you can voice memo yourself, okay? So pull up your Facebook Messenger, pull up a voice memo to you, and I want you to create a different voice memo for this. And I need you to promise yourself that you're just going to answer the question off the bat. This is for you only. You don't need to worry about, like, just be honest with yourself. That's it, okay? So we're gonna do this pretty quickly. We're gonna start easy, okay? So first off, what are your hobbies? I'm going to share my screen in just a minute. What are your hobbies or favorite pastimes? Without thinking, go. Write those down or voice memo it. Okay, we're moving on quickly for this one. Number 2, what are your real favorite foods? That's easy, real quick. First thing that comes to mind, favorite food, go. Number 3, how are you doing in your fitness journey right now, in this moment? Explain it to yourself. Like, go, no thinking. Talk that out to yourself. Number 4, new voice memo. Do you love working out? And explain your answer. Quick as possible, gut reaction, go. 5, do you love eating healthy? And explain your answer. Gut reaction, no filter, voice memo it in, really quick, go. All right, With these questions, I want you to dig deeper, okay? I want you to get, you're just talking to yourself, I want you to get personal. I want you to remember a time that you accomplished something in your workout or maybe within your body goals that you didn't think you could do at one point in your life. I want you to go back to that moment. I want you to think about it. I want you to live in that moment. How did that moment make you feel in that moment? And with that, how did you push through to that moment? What were you telling yourself? What was your focus and how did you get there? So this, I'm going to give you a little bit longer. The next voice memo I want you to make to yourself, I want you to go back to a time when you felt like a failure. Maybe you felt ugly, maybe you felt unsuccessful, maybe you missed a goal, maybe you had like this huge cheat meal. Whatever area of your life you want to apply it. Maybe it's about being a mom, maybe it's about being a wife, maybe it has nothing to do with Beachbody whatsoever. How did you feel, like what made you feel like a failure in that moment? Why did you feel like a failure? And furthermore, how did you come back from this moment and grow and learn through it? So take maybe a little more time for this one. Just be honest with yourself. No holding back. The next question I want you to answer, I want you to remember a time that you felt beautiful or handsome, for any men on here, or powerful or strong. I want you to remember a time, you just felt amazing in your own skin. What did that feel like and how did you get to that point? What made you feel this way? And the last one, gut reaction. Remember a time in life, any time in life, I'm not talking about coaching, any time in life that you were proud of yourself. Why were you proud of yourself? What did you accomplish? How did you get to that point to accomplish whatever that was that made you proud? And in that, what challenges did you push through? I'm going to give you a little more time to finish up. I love that you guys are crying. That's a good thing. It means you're being real. All right. Okay. Thank you guys for participating in that. So you guys just kind of did a gut check of your story, your real self. When no one is around, when you're not worried about what people will think, when you're not worried about saying the right thing. You guys just wrote out a lot, or talked out, told a huge story of your life and of challenges you faced and of successes that you've accomplished. And I want you guys to use this. So if you didn't realize, what I just shared to you is your story. And when you can convey that authentic truth on social media, what you just said, no filter, and you can find the courage to do that, that's when you're going to start impacting a lot of lives. We talk about being vulnerable a lot in this business, but I think sometimes it's really hard to figure out how to be vulnerable, right? Because I know for me, sometimes I get stuck in terms of what should I say? What should I say? How should I say it? And I want to tell you how this has evolved in my own business. When I started as a new coach, I came in and I started my journey. And that's the first thing you guys have to embrace, is that you are, as a coach, on a journey to become your best self through our fitness programs, bettering your health and fitness, and through personal development. You have to be on that journey. There's no way around it. So that goes without saying, like, if you're not on that journey, I don't know what you're going to talk about. And that journey never ends. It keeps going. So when I came in as a new coach, I just embraced the journey. And I shared the journey kind of unfiltered as a new coach. I would just like share from my heart what I was accomplishing. And it was scary. And I worried people would judge me. But I was honestly so happy about the changes that were being made. I wanted people to see that they could do this with me. And so I just shared my journey, and little by little, I'd peel back and share a little bit more. And I'll never forget the time I was invited to the 21 Day Fix infomercial. When I was 6 months into coaching for my transformation, I got there and freaked out. I compared myself to everybody there. There was these amazing transformation stories, people who lost 100 pounds, and then there's me, like my 9-pound weight loss. And I was like, what am I doing here? I'm not as good as everybody else. I spent that entire weekend in my head, a lot of times crying in my hotel room. I remember calling my coach and bawling because I was comparing myself to other people. And in that, deciding I wasn't worthy. I wasn't good enough. And it's so funny, I still face these same challenges today. And on the way back from that infomercial, on that flight, I wrote out a post sharing that. And that was the first time I got really real. And I talked about how I compared myself to everyone there and I didn't feel good enough. And I got the biggest response ever from that. I didn't think I was making any type of monumental post. I literally just said, I don't know what to say about this weekend. I'm just going to be real. And I posted it, and I was scared to post it. I got the biggest response. And it was in that moment that I realized when you stop caring if you're saying the right thing, or if you're talking to your target market, or if you're talking to your niche market, or if someone's going to buy a challenge pack or join your group, you have more impact. You have more impact. And so I would say for the first few years, I was living on passion and just sharing that. And I began to get better about sharing it. Insert 2017, the year that we are in right now. And for me, you know, I've hit some awesome levels of success this year. And I want to tell you what happened in terms of sharing my story and my authentic journey. We hit #1 in April also, and it was awesome. And then I freaked out. I freaked out. And the freak out was like, how are we going to maintain this? We're here. We can do it. It's possible. Oh my gosh, what if we can't maintain it? And I freaked out. And I thought I was being strategic, and I thought I was being a business owner and a CEO. And I started looking at what all the other top coaches were doing. And I started looking at, you know, maybe how they do their marketing, or how they are bringing in literally hundreds of people a month with a challenge pack. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Like, I've got to get my Facebook ads going. I've got to get a marketing person to help me out. I got to get 100 people a month, and I've got to start marketing better. And you know what happened? I completely lost my story. I was going on social media trying to say what I thought people wanted to hear. I was going on social media with mindset of how am I going to get someone to join my challenge group? I need to say the right thing. Be like, workouts, portion containers, Shakeology. What? That's not how I got to be to that #1 spot. But all of a sudden, I started comparing myself and I started to try and be like these other coaches. And I started failing massively. You guys want to know the truth? The truth is, in June, I hit my lowest of lows in terms of people I helped, Success Club. I only helped 11 people in June. That's it. And I'm not proud of that because I really take seriously helping people each month. Lowest of lows. When I was a brand new coach, I was helping more people than that. And here I am with my biggest following ever, my most success ever, and I hit my lowest numbers ever because I wasn't living up to the authentic person I should be, because I was trying to be like everybody else. And I lost my story. And then what happened next is I lost my joy. I lost my happiness. And in June, I hit a rock bottom mentally. I didn't want to get out of bed anymore. It was honestly terrifying. And I'm a big proponent of a life coach. I worked with a life coach in 2015. My life coach asked me then, Ruth, if you could paint the picture perfect day, you wake up, what does that picture perfect day look like? In 2015, he asked me this. So in June, I started working with a life coach again. And I started thinking about that question I was asking in 2015. I brought that to life. I was living in my dream. I was living in my dream. I had exactly what I said I wanted 2 years ago. And instead of being fulfilled, instead of being happy, I said to my husband, I said, I've never identified with depression, but I think I might be depressed. I think I might be going through depression because that's where I was at mentally in June. And I didn't know why. I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know how to get out of it. Thankfully, I started working with a life coach, and I'll tell you more about kind of how this unveiled. But when he asked me the same question, if you could have your perfect day, what would it look like? I said I'd stay in bed forever. I'd stay in bed forever. And that was really hard for me to admit. I didn't want to tell anybody that because I just felt like such a fraud, a fake, a failure. I should be loving life, and instead I didn't want to get out of bed every day. And I did talk about this on my live, so I apologize if you've already heard some of this. And my life coach simply asked me one question that really helped me understand how I had lost my authenticity. And he said to me, okay, Ruth, let's just imagine this. You wake up in a hospital. The good news is you're healthy. The bad news is you have no idea who you are. You don't know your past. You don't know your present. You don't know your accolades. You don't know your goals. You don't know your mission in life. Nothing. You get to start over from a blank slate. Who would you become? What would you become with your life? You know nothing about anything from your past. Beachbody's gone. The internet's gone for all I know. What would you do? And the answer was simple. It was I'd help people. That's always been my driving mission since I went to college. My motivating factor is I wanted to impact people and create change. And I started writing out everything that I do, and it was simple. I'd help people, I'd make an impact, I'd be a change agent, I'd help people better their lives. No Beachbody involved. And then I started writing out what I didn't want. I didn't want to feel like a failure. I didn't want to feel like, people were relying on me and I was letting them down every single day. And in this, I realized I had set so many expectations for who I thought I needed to be now that I was this top coach, quote unquote. And in this expectation, I changed everything about myself to fulfill what I thought a top coach should look like. And the fact of the matter is I am nothing like any of the coaches who I'm beside up there. I'm not. I'm disorganized. I'm messy. I'm horrible with the schedule. I don't make my bed. My house is a disaster. And guess what? I'm still successful. I don't make PowerPoints. I just showed you guys a Word document. I almost made a PowerPoint because I was like, well, it's Janelle Summers' call. And then I was like, no, this is about being authentic. I haven't made I have one PowerPoint I've made in 3 years of coaching. One. And I was like, no, that's not who I am. And I think the powerful thing here is, you guys, is that you don't have to be anyone else to be successful. But you do have to know who you are, and you do have to share your authentic story. Those are the important things. Don't become someone else. And so after my life coach asked me that, and he said, what was it like trying to be someone else? How did that make you feel? And I was like, that is why I didn't want to get out of bed every day. Do you know how hard it is to fake your life, to fake yourself? And I threw it all out the window, and I can't tell you in the matter of days of how everything has literally turned around for me, like night and day difference into how I approach. And I found my happiness and my joy because I'm not trying to live up to some other person's life or this expectation of maybe what I should be or what I should act like. And I think the cool thing is, I hope it shows you don't need to be anyone else either to be successful in this business. So to tie this back to those questions I asked you guys were raw, you were unfiltered. That's your story. And that's what I want you to begin sharing on social media. You have it there. I've always told my coaches this, and this is why I'm very disappointed in who I became the past few months. I've always told my coaches, ask yourself, are you being honest? Are you being true? Are you being you? If you can answer yes to all three, post it. If that is your truth, no one can bring anything against you. Like, you can't tell me I'm trying to be a salesperson and I'm trying to sell a challenge pack if those three questions are real, right? So I want you guys to share that journey. Sometimes I think people come into coaching and they think to themselves, because when I was a new coach, I kind of thought like this. I have to love fitness. I have to be the fitness guru. I have to love healthy eating. You know, I can't like have all these cheats. I have to be the ideal perfection coach. Like, here's who I have to be. No, screw that. I want you to be your best self. And that does mean moving your life and your health forward. That does mean doing what you think you can't do, accomplishing that body goal. It does mean that, but it doesn't mean it has to be a perfect journey. And it doesn't mean you only show the perfect stuff, okay? It means, you know what? This workout sucked really bad, and I wanted to throat punch Autumn in the face. Throat punch her in the face. But you're still sharing, like, you still did it. You still got it done. It hurt. It was hard, but you're getting better. And then when you do those things, those awesome things you never thought you could do, share that accomplishment. And for me, whenever I did this, and this is what helps me so much, because I don't like talking about myself on social media. I don't like being the person who's like, woohoo, like, look how much success I have. Whenever I share my success, I also share the struggle. Whenever I share the fact, like, the first time I could ever do a pull-up without a bar, you know, I talk about how I got there. And so I share with them what I overcame to get to that place. And that's exactly what you guys did in your voice memos to yourself. So you have your real authentic journey already in your voice memos. And I'm going to challenge you guys to peel back the layers if you haven't already. Stop saying on social media what you think people want to hear, and instead say your truth. Say your journey. Make it real. Okay, I'm going to skip over the next one. I'm going to jump to the end. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is in leadership, because there's a lot of leaders on this as well. And I think what I just said applies to leadership as well. We all feel those expectations or what we should be or should do. And being a leader doesn't mean having fancy PowerPoints. I think sometimes people step into their leader role and they look at other leaders who have all these pretty graphics and they have the pretty PowerPoints. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that if that is you. If that is you and you love that and you thrive on that and you want to do that, there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm going to let you know, you also don't have to become that person either. That's one thing I haven't done, which is funny because my background is in online design. I should be really good at this. But being a leader is simply, I really do mean this, creating a vision for your life and your business and sharing it with others. And as a coach, you are a leader, whether you are a brand new coach or whether you are a seasoned coach. You are a leader, and that vision, I encourage you to level it up. Step it up. Go for the thing that scares you. I might not be the best coach in terms of training and having pretty PowerPoints, and I have not made an entire YouTube library of trainings. I take them from everyone else. My new Coach Basics, I just took it from my upline and put it in my own group. I haven't recreated any wheels, is my point. I have not went out there and made a bunch of videos, and maybe I should. They tell me that I should, but whatevs, I'm not doing it. And what I have done is I have created a vision for my life. And even when I was a new coach, I would talk about this on social media, and I'd talk about it in my team page. I would talk about, like, what did I want my life to look like? And I would bring it to my audience, whether that was my team or my followers, and I'd tell them, like, here are my big dreams. Here's what I want to do with my life. Here's why I want to do it. It wasn't like, oh, I want to be a six-figure earner because that's awesome. No, it's like, I want to give back with that. I want to buy my mom a car someday, and I'm going to so freaking soon. I'm so pumped. Shh, don't tell her that. But it was like, here's what I want to be able to do, this stuff for people. And that's why success in this platform is not a goal, it's an obligation, because I want to give back in a way that I've never been able to before. And I created this vision long before it ever came to life. And let me tell you guys, it was terrifying. As a new Beachbody coach, I was writing on my public Facebook, like, I'm going to make it big in this business. Like, I can't wait to be a full-time coach. And I'd be like, what am I saying? People are going to think I'm crazy. Like, I've only been doing this for 4 months. But people saw that, and it was truly, and it is truly, an act of bravery. And people might say, wow, she's crazy, but she's also brave to say that. I'm gonna watch this train wreck. But instead of a train wreck, I showed them how to go full steam ahead and make it come to life. And you guys all have that option. Success is a decision to keep going, to keep moving, to make things happen even when you want to quit. There's so much training out there. The way is paid for you. You just have to find the way for yourself. The other way that I did this was with my team. And these are definitely like the most sickening things I ever said, like where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm about to say this on a team call. But I would rally my team, and I would have to like talk myself up, get on a team call. The first time I ever did this was when I was 8 months into coaching. I told my team that we were going to be a top 10 coach. I had no reason why. I was a diamond coach at the time to tell them we were going to be a top 10 team that year. And guess what? We weren't. We ended at 19 my first full year as a coach, but we ended at number 19, 7-star diamond team that year because of this vision. Because what happens when someone steps up and says something brave or scary? Everyone else is like, homegirl's crazy. She thinks she can like be top 10. I guess I can be a diamond coach by the end of the year. I could do that. If she's like that crazy to think she can do something like that, they're going to step up and follow your lead because they see your belief and they see your courage, and they're going to emulate that. I did that this year with my team as well. I told them in January that we were going to go for number 1, not top 10, but we were going to go for number 1. Seriously, the stupidest thing that I've ever said. But what happened? All of my leaders raised the bar with me. They said, you know what, if you're going for that, I'm going for top 20. I'm going for top 10. And honestly, it doesn't even matter where we end the year. All that matters is my coaches have had more success this year than any other year because they rose with me. They rose to the challenge with me. Their lives have been dramatically changing. Biggest paychecks, biggest volume. Stay-at-home moms they're coming home. Stay-at-home moms are now earning more than their spouse. Like, rose to the vision that I created for my life and for my team, and they created their own vision. I have an entire call on this that I'm happy to share with you guys, but that vision is imperative to your success in this business and to also your team's success. They need to see your courage in going after your own dreams and goals, and they will follow you in that, and then show them the way. The last thing I'm going to say is I had this moment at Summit, and it was combined with my life coach moment. This was just the icing on the cake. And so I want to do this with you guys, and hopefully some of you will have the same experience. Brendan Bouchard, in our leadership training, he asked us to do this activity. So I'm going to ask you guys to do it as well. And he said to close your eyes. So you can close your eyes, block everything else out. And I want you to imagine you living at your highest potential. You living at your best self. If you were truly fulfilling the purpose that you believe in and that you want to be, or maybe it comes to you in a form of like who you would emulate, and I want you to think about that. And then, what are 3 words that make up your best self? The 3 words that describe your best, most highest achieving self. What are those 3 words? And write those 3 words down. And then he said to put an alarm in your phone. And so you see these 3 words 3 times a day. So 3 times a day, they're going to pop up in your phone. And I want to share with you guys what this did for me. So we stood up there. He asked us to do this. And for me, it's actually funny I'm saying this on this call. When I thought about like, if I was living to my highest potential, what would that look like? And it kind of looks like Chalene Johnson. Not, I want to be Chalene Johnson, but I want to have the impact that she has. I want to help women feel empowered and inspired and go after big things. And I want to do it in the manner that she does, because I think it's real. And I think there's so much love and sincerity behind that. And so when I thought about Chalene, because for me it was just easier to think about a person, 3 words came to mind. Inspiring. Giver. I don't think that's actually a word. Giver. And a badass. And when I thought about those 3 words and what I was doing every day right now, and if I was living up to them, okay, I was like, I am failing. I am failing. The only thing that I could say I maybe even was doing was being inspiring just in sharing the small pieces of my story. But there's so much behind the scenes people didn't see. I was like, wow, I'm holding back. I am just holding everything back. I'm not sharing my real self. I'm not sharing my real journey. Instead, I'm sitting back here thinking, am I good enough? Is anyone going to relate to what I have to say? Do I have anything to tell my team that's like even worth anything? And that was probably the biggest one. And you can see night and day difference on my social media right now, how it's changed. And I'm not giving them expert advice or things that, you know, might be right or wrong. I'm just giving more of me, more of my real journey. And if they like it, they like it. And if they don't, they don't. But it's given me a voice, and I guess connected me to my higher purpose of, if I want to have this impact, and if I want to empower and inspire, I have to do more. I have to give more. And it's not an option, it's a non-negotiable to rise up and to share. And, you know, I'm in this place where I have a platform, and I was letting it go to waste because I was sitting in the background thinking, am I good enough? And I am, and so are you, just by living your authentic story. That is it. And the last one, badass. I was like, I am not owning my greatness, and I better step it up, because Chalene would never be sitting back there like, oh, am I good enough? No, she's gonna like rock it out and dance it all the way to the top. And so that is, in my mind, me stepping in and owning my greatness and having the confidence to say, you know what, I do deserve this. I am worthy, and I do have something to offer to the world. And so that activity just helped me so much step into being my best self, being my greater self, and giving more of my authentic story and my authentic journey. So that is it. That's all I have for you.
Can you hear me okay, Ruth?
Yes, I can.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Seriously, I know everyone from the questions that you had us ask ourselves and voice memo ourselves. I mean, I think a lot of us were in tears. That was really, really powerful. I don't think I've ever done something like that before, and I think that is really telling, and it's going to help us all realize where we truly are. And Brendan had said in that leadership workshop, you know, that leaders, people who truly, you know, excel, know themselves really well. And I think that exercise that you just gave us helped us know ourselves better and where we need to work on ourselves. I cannot thank you enough for being so upfront and honest, because you're right. Everyone assumes that when you get to the point that you are in your business, that you just have it all figured out. And you're at a point where things just keep rolling over and it's easy, and that you know what you're doing. And it's not true. That's not what it looks like. And so I'm so thankful that you shared so generously and courageously what you've gone through with the highs and the lows, and how you overcame that, how you are where you are right now today. And that it was all so fresh, that all this just happened. So you guys, we are so lucky to hear from Ruth. And I'm trying to think if there were any questions. You guys, did you have any questions? I have 3 pages of notes, and I hope you all took notes as well and are gonna make sure that your teams get on these calls. Did anyone have any questions? I'm not seeing any other than just wows, and thank you so much for sharing all of that. You are such an inspiration to all of us, and the fact that you show your true authentic self, and that it's not going to look perfect. And by the way, you of course did not need to have PowerPoints for this, and I'm so thankful that you didn't, because that would have like completely made this like a totally different feel. We just needed to hear from you, just real, raw, and unscripted, and just sharing your story, your ups and downs. So that was perfect. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
All right, you guys, thanks for getting on. Pass this along, and we will see you next week. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you.